In this video, we're going to see a British journalist completely dismantle a loyal Trump supporter, causing her to resign during a live broadcast. Let's get into the specifics.
I've got to turn now to, as promised, to Dr. Jan Halper-Hayes, former Global Vice President of Republicans Overseas, as advisor to Donald Trump's 2017 transition team. Dr. Halper-Hayes, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Do you understand why so many in this country and in Europe more generally would have seen what happened in the Oval Office as an attempt to humiliate President Zelensky and be repulsed by it?
Well, if they watched all 53 minutes, then I don't think they would have that feeling. If they saw clips of it, which of course will be clips of J.D. Vance and Trump being very angry with Zelensky, then of course they would come to that.
Could you imagine President Trump speaking to, say, President Putin in that way? And isn't it precisely the point that he wouldn't, that is part of the problem?
Well, if President Putin pushed him the way Zelensky pushed Trump,
what did
bet.
Zelensky do? What did he do that was so egregious in your view?
Well, one is that he started litigating the 2014. He said, I don't want a ceasefire.
He said he wants peace repeatedly. He just doesn't want it on Russia's terms, which you'll understand because Russia invaded his country.
But he said, I don't want a ceasefire. He made that comment to Trump.
He said he doesn't want a ceasefire if he knows that Putin is just going to renege on it a couple of months later, which is fair enough, isn't it? Because he's done that repeatedly, you will accept.
Exactly.
No, not exactly. I mean, the point is that, of course, anyone wants a ceasefire, but there's no point having a ceasefire, is there? Which is what Zelensky was saying to Trump, if Putin is just going to renege on it shortly afterwards.
And Trump was saying, how do you really know? I mean, if you're really coming from that position, that no one can guarantee anything. But if you don't move forward to get something into an agreement and then be able to put the right security.
But what has Putin said that gives you or President Trump any indication at all that he even wants a ceasefire? Putin has said he doesn't want a ceasefire at this point.
Putin is... Look, I'm not here to have an argument because you clearly have a position that I don't agree with.
What would that be? What would that position be?
Well,
I mean, we would both agree, wouldn't we, for a start, that Putin started the war?
Yeah, what I would say is that Putin legally violated international law. Morally, he thought he was right, and strategically...
But you would agree that morally he was wrong?
I know I would not agree morally is wrong. I would agree legally he was wrong.
You would agree, you would not think that a man who literally, as we speak, still sends drone attacks to kill Ukrainian civilians is morally wrong?
Oh, and you think that Ukraine isn't doing anything to the Russians?
Ukraine didn't invade Russia. Russia invaded Ukraine. That you wouldn't agree that was morally wrong?
Okay.
Been allowed to exercise their democratic and sovereign rights as nations and join that club.
Oh, God. You know what? I don't like having my words twisted. No, I really don't.
You don't like... Well, but that's the point of an interview, isn't it? Is to discuss what you're saying. And I'm just asking you... You're saying... With respect, Doctor, I'm just trying to understand what you're saying. You're saying that those countries should never have been allowed to join NATO, and then we wouldn't have been in this situation. And I'm saying to you that surely those countries should have been allowed...
I didn't say that. Well, see, that's why... No, hold on a minute.
But you cited what happened in the... so you're saying that it's fine for them to join NATO, then?
I didn't say any of those things, and I don't like when someone tries to give words and interpret without understanding. I'm done. Okay. I'm off. I don't like you.
Okay, well, that's fine, Dr. Halper-Hayes. Maybe some of the listeners won't like you, but that's fine. I'm entirely indifferent to that. I'm very grateful for your time. Dr. Jan Halper-Hayes there, former Global Vice President of Republicans Overseas. Apparently I'm not going to be on her Christmas card list. Maybe I will be with Oliver in Harlesden, though. Oliver.
Wow, hats off to Lewis Goodall. That was quite the show. What's with these die-hard Trump supporters, these MAGA enthusiasts, who who endlessly echo Russian propaganda but act all victimized when faced with even a tiny bit of pushback? They fall apart like soggy tissue at the first hint of a challenge. Totally embarrassing. With every question he asked, she just couldn't express her views at all. It's baffling. This is precisely the kind of thing we need more of. Honestly, I'm pretty proud of Lewis Goodall. LBC, the UK radio station where this all went down, has quite a following, and I do listen to some of their shows now and then. What Goodall did is something we truly need more often, and I have to say, I think US news reporters could learn a lot from his approach and push back against these Russian storylines more forcefully. The folks spreading this kind of talk usually have nothing to back it up, and it really shows when their self-assuredness crumbles under questioning. It's fascinating to watch, especially when she started mentioning countries moving east, which screams Russian narrative. Being from the West, where we hold democracy and the right of nations to decide their own course very dear, it shouldn't be up to Russia to dictate what they can or cannot do. But as we know all too well, we're living in pretty strange times. People who are staunch supporters of Trump go on platforms like LBC, meeting someone like Lewis Goodall, trying to dodge around specific narratives. They dislike any pushback because they're used to having unchallenged airtime on American radio, where even rare pushbacks are just gentle taps. Genuine, in-depth questioning is scarce, but more American journalists should get tougher on these baseless arguments. This needs to become standard. Anyway, I'm curious about your thoughts on Lewis Goodall's intense takedown that actually led to her quitting live on air. I absolutely enjoyed it. Share your opinions in the comments. And if you're new here and curious about my British perspective on American politics, please subscribe and join our community. If you like this video, leave a comment, hit the thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.